Welcome to this session on percentage. In this session, we will solve some basic questions based on formation of basic equations. One of the most fundamental issues with students attempting questions on percentage is being able to interpret language and then converting that language into a mathematical equation. Well, this is what we will try to learn in this particular session, that how we can convert basic words into a mathematical equation. So let us take a look at the first question. So let us take a look at the first question. If 30% of a number is added to 35, the result is the number itself. What is the given number? So obviously, the first thing that should strike you is we are required to find some number. And whenever we have to make equations, the best thing is to assume that number to be equal to x. Let this be the number that we need to find out. Now, what are we adding? We are adding 30% of our given number. So 30% of x is being added to 35. And therefore, 30% of x plus 35. And what does it result? It results in the number itself. So the outcome or the result is x itself. So here we've been able to convert the words of this particular question into an equation. And what do we get? This implies that 30% of x plus 35 is equal to x, and x can be written as 100% of x. So we have 30% of x plus 35 is equal to 100% of x, because any number is always 100% of x itself. Now this should have been actually done orally, and we get 70% of x is equal to 35, and which means x is equal to 50. So you saw, by writing this basic equation, we are able to answer this particular question. Let us take a look at another question. So here is the question. Two candidates fought an election. One of the candidates got 70% of the votes and won the election by 800 votes. The total votes polled is, once again, whatever we have to find out, we can assume that to be x. So we have to find out the total votes polled. Assume the total votes polled to be x. Obviously, the winner's votes are 70% of x. So we can jot that down as, so the winner's votes are 70% of x. So what will be the loser's votes? The loser's vote must be 100% minus 70%, that is 30% of x. Now, how do you relate these two percentages and 800? The winner wins the election by 800 votes. That means the difference between the winner's votes and the loser's votes must be equal to 800. So our basic equation that we should write must be winner's votes minus the loser's vote is equal to 800, which means 70% of x minus 30% of x must be equal to 800. And if you solve this equation, x is equal to 2000. So the total votes polled in this case is equal to 2000. Let us take a look at another question. Deepika got 30% marks and failed by 20 marks. If Ranbir got 40% marks and got 20 marks more than the passing marks, what are the total marks? Once again, we start by assuming whatever has been asked as x. So let us assume that the total marks must be equal to x. So how many marks did Deepika get? So Deepika's marks can be written as, so we have Deepika's marks are equal to 30% of x. Similarly, what are Ranbir's marks? Ranbir's marks are 40% of x. So which means that Deepika got 30% less marks than the passing marks. Therefore, Deepika's marks, let us call them D. So if Deepika's marks are D and Ranbir's marks are R, we can have the basic equation as Deepika's marks plus 20 must be equal to passing marks. And similarly, because Ranbir got 20 marks more than the passing marks, that means Ranbir's marks minus 20 must be equal to passing marks. So if we carefully look at 1 and 2, and if we equate 1 and 2, we will get Deepika's marks plus 20 must be equal to Ranbir's marks minus 20. So what does that give you? Deepika's marks, that is 30% of x, plus 20 is equal to Ranbir's marks, that is 40% of x, minus 20. And if you solve for x, you will get the value of x in this case as 400. So this translates to 40% minus 30% will give you 10% of x, and 20 plus 20 will give you 40, or x is equal to. So with this we come to an end of this particular session. If you want to watch more videos or solve more questions, please log on to our website www.pfindia.com, or if you have any queries, please write to us at studentservices@pfindia.com, or you could also use the Ask a Doubt feature if you are watching this video on our website. Thank you very much.